We're joined now by U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer Landon Donovan, who comes to us on behalf of Zevo, the first official bug spray of Major League Soccer. Landon currently in Germany covering the Euros. Landon, what's happening, my friend? How is Germany, I guess, 25 years after you started your German expedition at Bayer Leverkusen?
Yeah, it's been interesting to be back here. Actually, where we're staying in Cologne is only a few minutes away from Leverkusen and the Leverkusen Stadium that I first started at. So it's been great to be here. I was here today in Amsterdam at a buddy's house. I spent the day golfing. Thanks for bringing up my partnership with Zevo. Like the idiot I am, I forgot to put on bug spray, so I got destroyed. So now I have pants on, and I'm trying not to let that impact me, but I appreciate it. It's been fun so far. I'm enjoying the tournament quite a bit.
Let's talk about the Euros. Just overall impressions so far of the tournament, and who are maybe a couple teams that have stuck out to you?
I think I said before the tournament, to me, this is the most difficult tournament to win. People think I'm crazy sometimes when I say that. World Cups obviously are challenging, but every team in the Euros, as you saw last night with Georgia, can win. They're all teams that are good enough to be here and compete at this level. So I think before last night, I would have said Portugal. They were not impressive. I know they put out kind of second choice lineup, but to me, the best team in the tournament is Spain. Germany have been very good as well. I think those two, you have to say, are the favorites right now, but Spain for me has been a cut above of everyone else.
Landon, what team is, would you say, has surprised you the most? Because there's always that surprise package. We know about some of these top teams because we see the names on papers, but if they don't perform, it doesn't matter. But what team has come out there and really surprised you the most?
So we did Austria, and they've been really impressive. Ralf Rangnick has them playing extremely well. A lot of these teams have actually been disappointing in the way they play. I think England has certainly been disappointing. Netherlands at times have been disappointing. I think Belgium have been very disappointing. But this Austria team is very well coached. They know their identity. They are counter-pressing masters. They have some very, very good players, and they finished top of a group with France and the Netherlands. I don't know what more you can say other than that's a really good team.
Yeah, and they've seemingly snuck into everybody's top 5 lists, right, that have been going around with the Euros here. In that conversation as well, we've been talking, and we'll throw France into it with some of the teams that you named, Landon, teams that seemingly have these incredible rosters but can't seem to put it together. You don't see any fluidity, struggling to score goals. What do you think that boils down to?
Well, you guys have both been part of teams that have very good individual players and talented players. That doesn't make you the best team. And so the job of these coaches, Didier Deschamps, Gareth Southgate, Ronald Koeman, et cetera, is how do you find the best team, not just the best players individually? And a lot of times it feels like the coaches are picking the best players and not the best team. And that means hard conversations, some people being left out of the team. I think Germany have done a fantastic job with Andrich in the middle. He's not flashy. Very few people know about him. He gets the ball, he passes the ball. He tackles, he wins the ball back, he passes the ball. He doesn't want any of the spotlight. He doesn't need to be Toni Kroos. He doesn't need to be Füllkrug or Musiala. He just does his job, and that makes them tick. And I think a few of these other teams could use a few more players like that and make them better teams.
Landon, in your younger days, you were a young whippersnapper that announced yourself at a very young age. With this tournament going on with some of the young players that have been playing in the Euros, which one has stood out the most? We're talking about the likes, obviously, Jude Bellingham, Lamine Yamal, Florian Wirtz and Musiala. Which one has really stood out for you?
Lamine Yamal was really fun to watch in person. You don't think of him as young all the time, but Nico Williams too, because we saw him in the last World Cup. But he's very impressive. Musiala and Wirtz, I think, have been tremendous for Germany. Unfortunately, on the other side of that coin, Jude Bellingham has been pretty disappointing in the last couple matches. He was very good in the first match. We covered the first match on Fox, the England match, and it was really fun to watch him score early, and he was the player you thought, but the last 2 matches he's really struggled. So that's been a bit disappointing, but there's a number of young players in this tournament that are really fun to watch.
Big news over in US soccer, sticking with the same thing. Alex Morgan hasn't been selected for the Olympic squad in the US women's national team. 10 years to the day, you had a very similar experience in 2014. Can you just tell us what that felt like, the raw emotions of what it was? Obviously, at the time, it was big news internationally, you being Mr. USA and not making it in the 2014 squad. How was that feeling?
Yeah, I'm devastated for Alex. Having played through the years parallel as she's been playing and watching her career, it's a horrible moment. And I don't wish it on anybody. It is not enjoyable to have to deal with that. It's the unfortunate part of this business that happens to all of us at some point. But I'm mostly just, I sympathize with Alex, and I hope it doesn't define the rest of her season, and that she can make peace with it at some point. Certainly not going to be soon, because these things are difficult to deal with, but my heart goes out to her.
Yeah, it certainly won't define her career. And by the way, I don't know if you saw it, a really heartfelt, warm post on her Instagram account about how she'll be supporting that team down the road here. Let's jump to a clip, Landon, of our old coach. Of course, Bruce Arena was our manager in 2002, and everyone wants to compare this team to 2002 and who was a better team. And I know we all have our feelings on that, but Bruce recently was on Kicking It, a show you did a few months ago. He had some things to say. I want to play them for you and get your reaction to it.
How do you compare Christian to Landon?
Christian, I think, is potentially a better player than Landon. He isn't yet, but potentially he should be. And he's shown it now in Italy. But
when you say potentially, do you mean he's not reached that yet, or you just
not
mean...
yet? Not yet. He has to. He has to put some years together of quality. But he's getting there. No question about that.
Done in such a Bruce Arena way as we know he would do it, right? And by the way, this was part of a question that was when he was asked to give his Mount Rushmore of U.S. soccer players, which you were on it. Can finish this. You and Christian were the two guys of the four that he picked. And again, in Bruce fashion, he didn't finish the Mount Rushmore. We're asking you to finish the Mount Rushmore for Bruce Arena.
Well, Clint for sure. And then, that's tough. Well, I mean, no offense, Tony, I love you, but I love Tim Howard, so I'm going to put Tim on there.
Landon, just let's take Bruce aside. Tell us who's one of your other favorite managers you've worked for and why.
I was fortunate to have a lot. So my first ever in San Jose was Frank Yallop, and I love Frank. He's a phenomenal human being. Treated me very well. John Ellinger was my under-17 national team coach, who really taught me how to be a man. We were 15, 16 years old with him. So I was very fortunate to have him. My time at Everton was phenomenal with David Moyes, who I have so much respect for, and I learned a lot in 3 months from him. And then Bob Bradley, he'll tell you, we had a very rocky start because he came in at the end of Bruce. Tony, Bruce and his laid-back ways, let us go to dinner, have days off, etc. And then Bob came in, and he was very strict. He was the dictator after that, and at first it did not rub me the right way, but I gained tremendous respect for Bob. And because he did things differently, it rubbed me the wrong way at first. But over time, he proved that he was a phenomenal coach as well. So I was very fortunate. I had a few bad ones sprinkled in along the way, but I had mostly very, very good coaches.
So basically, you couldn't just pick one. You had to just name them all, right? So you're not going to pick one.
Well, they all have amazing qualities.